Hello, and welcome back to part 2 of our retrospective. I am the host, or I am your host for your pleasure, Meep, joined by my co-hosts, Makan and Dalaran. Say hello.
Hi, I'm still here.
Where can they find you? You're still here?
You can't, but you can try it at @that_Viking on Twitter.
Cool, short and sweet. All right, let's go. Hi, everyone. Dalaran Quest here. Or, just Dalaran. Meep, you really, you pulled that one back out, huh?
What do you mean?
I'm your host. I can be your host for your servitude and pleasure.
Well, I realized when I said it, it made it sound like I am the host, like I'm this
Yeah,
big
I know.
CEO.
No, I know, and I appreciate you.
I'm the host from a host company for that.
Yeah, for those of you just tuning in, you can find me right here, twitch.tv/Dalaron Quest. That's DALARON Quest. If you're catching us over at YouTube, you probably are already where you need to be. But just in case, feel free to subscribe and see all of our other FMK anime videos. Summer is going to be taking a break. We're still working out where those videos would be uploaded. But otherwise, yeah, welcome. Also, there's a voice reel onto YouTube. You can find it on my profile. Views on that is always appreciated, but even more so our comments, feedback, and shares. And you guys can also follow me along on Twitter. Same name as everywhere else, Dalaron Quest. That's DALARON Quest. Later today, we're going to be doing the D&Ds, so feel free to come around for those of you who are watching us live.
And you can find me on Twitter at soul_king777. Unless you're a minor. If you're a minor, you can find me in your mother's bedroom. Don't follow me if you're a minor either, because there are many things that you will see on the Twitter, including and not limited to your mother. Really? No laughs, huh?
It's just smiling smugly, so it's fun.
I will become your stepdad. I don't care if it's your dad. I have to.
Yeah, well, if you do that, I'll become your grand stepdad. How do you feel about that, huh?
Shut the fuck up, you're degenerates. Let's talk about Mars Red.
Mars. Yeah, let's just get into our retrospective of Mars Red.
Yeah.
All I can give the show is a deep sigh. It started out promising.
It
Yeah,
really
real
did.
strong, and then it fucked up real fast.
It did the ultimate sin of vampire media where it made the vampires uninteresting and unimportant. Like, so much vampire media does that. It starts off, one vampire is a strong force. 4 episodes in, we have an army of 5 million vampires.
Yeah,
And
how did they fuck it up this bad when they had the interesting vampires from the start? Vampires get turned by other vampires and because they have a certain strength because of it, and they kind of lose their memory. It's a fucking interesting idea.
Yep, and they fuck it all up when they went, hey, remember that rule we had that, vampire only like 1% of people survive getting bit by a vampire? I don't remember if I brought it up on the FMK, but I did the math.
Yeah.
Okay. And that would have been, if not all of Japan, a large chunk of Japan.
Well, considering the stupid fucking horde that they kept throwing at us at episode 4 and 5, or 3 and 4, whatever the fuck it was, it was like a quarter of fucking Tokyo, or wherever they were.
Like, even the anthology mysteries weren't the most interesting, because the one guy, Maida's assistant, died, and it felt like they did it just so that Maida could have a sad scene. It didn't really have any emotional resonance, at least with me. And then the second mystery, it kind of did something similar, where, although I wasn't as upset with it as you were, Dal, I think, where they killed the one girl that Gas Mask Boy was talking to.
Just seemed so fucking unnecessary and contributed nothing to the plot.
Other than maybe character development for Gas Mask Boy, but I didn't
What
stick on long enough to
character
see.
development? He just said, to live and die as a hooker. And I'm like, alright, cool.
Well, that's why I said maybe, because I didn't stick with it long enough to see if anything came of that. But
Show's dumb.
the entire mystery surrounding that too, like everyone in this place is a vampire, was an uninteresting twist, and I was kind of getting upset with how they were treating the one guy, because it was like, all right, you gotta go in here alone because they can smell fear. It's like, why are you treating him like this?
Man, how the fuck did that show survive that episode? How did it not die on that episode?
Because another show got 3 kills. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Boy, I hope you're right.
Because I know me and you killed it. Then the next episode brought it back for you, I think.
I remember
either that or the next episode was the one that died.
I remember really liking the scene between Yanagaki, was his name, the older, rotund, very gravelly, almost like broken voiced veteran, kind of Maida's brother in arms. I remember really enjoying his character, and the scene with his wife at the festival, kind of giving her a chance to say goodbye, which she really needed. That was really good. I remember the first episode where the show had this kind of disjointed, but almost, not almost, just nearly theatrical, like both kabuki Japanese theater and just Western theater, which I guess they were trying to go for that with the whole uh Tokyo in the, I think this is the Meiji era, right? And with these like Englishmen actors coming into influencing the theater. But like this near theatrical vibe with its storytelling and its pacing and certain parts where our first vampire, technically the first vampire we were introduced right off the bat, this woman speaking in prose and just only speaking in like theatrical and poetic lines. And I thought that was really interesting. I thought we're going to get something that's really kind of melodramatic and romantic, and it will have, I don't know, this kind of levity where we're literally going in like in a play, scene for scene, piece by piece, kind of putting things together. But what ended up happening was that kind of metaphor fell off, leaving only the disjointed pacing where things just started really to feel like they were kind of just happening because they're happening with no real clause or cause behind it. We are introduced to these big vampire ladies. Oh, ha, ha, Lady Demetresque joke. But, like, okay, they're obviously strong because they're recognized as S-rank vampires, and then they get killed off through poison, which I guess is cool, but like, why were they there? Who were they? Were they just there to be like badasses for a moment and then dead? Well, then why? That's such a waste of potential character. Let them do something.
You know what the issue with the show is, in the end of the day, for me? Nothing has build up.
Yeah, nothing really fucking matters.
And okay, did we get to the earthquake episode, or is that one I watched on my own?
I think you watched that one on your own.
Okay. Do you mind if I say what happens in the earthquake episode, or should
No,
I?
I mean, I don't care.
Okay,
Who is that? Oh,
spoilers
sounds. Hold
alert
on,
for...
there's sounds coming in. Who is that?
Shouldn't be me. I wasn't using push to talk there.
I'm trying to figure out what that sound is myself. I can't find where it's coming from.
You should go find it. While I continue to say about
Anyway,
things that I.
okay.
Well, no, not anyway. Find the sound.
Well, it stopped. It stopped. So.
Squint.
Because you're not hearing it, are you?
Yeah, no.
Okay. So, spoilers alert for Mars Red episode 6 or whatever it was where we ended
Damn,
off.
you went further in.
Well, I watched one more episode from where
Oh,
they
okay.
killed it. A earthquake happens, and Yanagaki ends up getting killed in the earthquake, saving Maida.
Oh, right. You mentioned
Because
this. Yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah.
to save Maida, he has to put himself in the sun. So he gets in the sun, pulls Maida out, dies, and I just that's what I mean when I say it feels like nothing in the show has proper build up because I felt like it was supposed to be this big moment because apparently the two of them were always at odds, but I never felt like it showed that properly aside from I think one or two lines in the episode where it was revealed that Maida is controlling this vampire squad.
I mean, yes, he's the leader. He's always been the leader.
Yeah, I just
But yeah, regardless, like that's exactly the thing with. I mean, in this particular case, it definitely did establish that, but it never felt like they had like it didn't feel like a reciprocated rivalry. It felt like Yanagaki was just a crotchety old man who's just upset and thinks the world treats him unfairly, while also being this like really cultured and artistic and educated individual. He plays piano, he writes poetry and writes songs. He's well studied in both war and just trivia, and like he's a really fascinating character, and I feel like the show didn't utilize him well. And that at the end of the day is really like my takeaway feelings for Mars Red is that like the show had interesting things. It felt like it didn't know how to use them. Like the good ideas were there. There was a reason why we were all interested and were willing to give it like another episode or two. But ultimately just I don't know, like it nothing maybe it's on me and maybe I just don't understand Mars Red. But like maybe all three of us just don't understand Mars Red, but it didn't make sense to me.
I just I came away with the takeaway like that sure was a piece of media I watched, and at the end of the day, the worst thing it did was bore me, and in some parts, it made me upset because it threw away the rules of its world for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's true. And the whole vampire thing just it didn't really stay consistent. They did build it up considerably, but they like then you start just having these massive ghoul hordes, which somehow went unfucking noticed, and then I don't know. It didn't land. What about you, Mackin?
Like,
I mean, I haven't been saying much because you're kind of been saying everything I have to say. I mean, started off real promising and had a lot to show for itself, and then lost it all as it just didn't do anything. And the few things it did was just kind of like, well, that's stupid. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Or you fucking really? Because it just kept going with like, oh yeah, it kills the fucking general dude, kills the like fucking army ministers. Like, okay, fucking, what's that gonna solve?
yeah, like his heel turn came out of no. Well,
Is it
maybe
really a
not
heel
nowhere.
turn? Because I remember you being like, "Oh, he's a bad guy," and both me and Makan being like, "Ah, is he?"
I'd also have to check with the friend who's continued watching it if he is a bad guy or not, or if there's even any payoff to it.
I mean, he's not a bad guy. He shot the bad guy. He was the minister was collaborating with the UK vampires to sell out, like to give Japan to them, and
Mm.
he suspected that he was just being fed a bunch of political horseshit. And then I think someone reported there was like vampire sightings, and he put two and two together, but that was never told to us. Just something that I kind of a conclusion I reached, and
Well,
he's
no,
just like, "Oh, you're a trifling ass bitch," and just shot him.
the minister told him he brought in S-class vampires from somewhere else. The minister straight up told him, he's like, "We won't need your vampire squad anymore. We brought in effective ones from the UK." And he's like, "How many?" And he's like, "5 S-class." He was like, "Oh, well, I'll fucking teach you a thing or two about S-class."
Yeah, they shot him in the fucking head, and that was great.
Well, no,
Regardless of how and why he did what he did, he still shot the Minister of fucking Defense. That's not gonna end well for him.
yeah.
The worst thing is he can't even go like, "Oh, vampires did it," because he's trying to like save the vampire project. Like he means like again, like I'm not saying that he's not a villain. We don't know. But like he could be, right? Like he again, like some of the best villains are the ones that have good intentions. That are just like, oh, you know, the I want to make a unit of, immortal soldiers so that I don't have to see my men die, young Japanese men die on the battlefield anymore. And like that's a good intention.
Yeah, that's an interesting and cool motivation. I just I wish they did more.
Yeah.
I wish the show did more.
Yeah.
Are we ready to move on from Mars Red?
No, I do want to talk about something that I did enjoy about the show.
Okay.
It's with all of our gripes with it, the show is pretty. Like it's not drop dead gorgeous. However, the show's very unique art style where everything kind of has this coarse, almost like pencil, not even pencil, like ink pen kind of look to it. The eyes are very bold, the the shadows are like pitch black, like just ink. The outlines, actually the outlines do kind of look like pencil because they're all very very like light and very thin and like kind of grainy, but still very dark and like poignant. And also like the unique art style gave us some very nice Japanese aesthetics. I mean, look at this man's mustache. Like you only a general post the Russian war would be able to pull off such a glorious and ridiculous mustache. And
Surprised this guy's Japanese, because that's a fucking bald eagle on his fucking upper lip.
Yeah.
the red light district episode, despite its contrived plot and plot twists, honestly looked very pretty. The pinks and purples and violets and reds and just the warm colors of the Japanese red light district uh were delightful, illuminated with lanterns. And one thing this show did do very well is like understanding light in darkness. The vampires' glowing red eyes when they attack in the shadows or like in the dead of night was really fucking cool. Every flashback to the war scene felt like, especially in like night scenes when like guns fired, you'd get the flash of the barrel, and like that was pretty dope. And the show even aspired, I don't think it succeeded, but it aspired to like introduce this steampunk aesthetic, or like or include actually a steampunk aesthetic. And I don't think it truly landed, at least from what we've seen. But I mean, A for effort, right? Like that's cool. And the unique art style resulted in us getting some very pretty backdrops, such as, like this shot that I think was also in episode 1. That was just like, wow, look at that. That's a wallpaper. That's really pretty. That's really nice. I'd put that on a shirt.
Yeah. Also, I just remembered a part of the show so forgettable we haven't mentioned yet.
What?
Reporter and the one question mark vampire boy from the ending?
No, he's definitely a vampire.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a vampire, but I don't know if he's a villain, if he's a hero, who he's working for.
Yeah, fair enough.
And for some reason he's with the reporter all the time too.
He showed up and gesticulated mysteriously while doing fucking nothing of actual value.
Am I trying to drink this reporter's blood, or is she just my living girlfriend? You'll never know, Maida.
As Veep goes to find out the source of that sound. And chat, I need you to let me know if the fucking lawnmower outside is getting picked up by my mic. at 12:44 p.m.
So how's 12:44 p.m. a weird time to mow the lawn?
That's usually a morning thing, you know.
I usually hear people do it in midday or even afternoon.
Yeah, it's usually a midday thing around here too, because you don't want to do it in the morning in case people are awake, in case people are still asleep.
Sure, but it's like the hottest time right now.
Some people have air conditioned lawnmowers.
Hold on, I gotta close the window.
So, some people are freaks who like the heat.
Fair enough. Also, yeah, no, I never understood what they were trying to do with that one vampire and reporter's relationship. It just felt it felt like it was nothing. I'm sure it amounted to something in the end, but it was just always covered with so much mysterious vagueness that I don't know.
It's doing the motions of being something interesting without giving us any substance that makes it interesting.
Yeah, like you can show me the photo of a really good steak, but there's no substance to it, so I'll just get upset. Like, damn it, why isn't this steak here? Nyeh.
Yeah. Dal, you there? What? Oh,
He said he'd be right back.
I missed that. um,
I don't know what he's going to do, but
he's gonna go
for the
fist fight. He's gonna go fist fight the person mowing the lawn.
yeah, I was gonna say for the sake of comedy, I'll assume he's yelling at the guy mowing his lawn.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine you're just mowing your lawn and then a Karen comes up and tells you to fucking quit it.
No cut grass. No. No, the show did do some things nice. The art style has generally been really nice looking. The character design and their outfits are on point, as I can't tell one that didn't look good. Um, the supporting cast is varied and interesting, and seem to go deeper than most characters would in this kind of setting. Like the mad scientist vampires is like, oh, he doesn't have any morals or anything. No, he's just happy about being immortal so he can keep fucking studying science forever. It's
Yeah.
I think they did a lot of interesting things with them that most shows wouldn't.
All right, I'm back.
Did you fist fight the guy mowing his lawn?
I did not. I mean, the dude's just doing his job, right? I'm not gonna yell. It's not his fault. Also, it's just I'm reminded why I don't stream on Tuesday afternoons. Um, but yeah, no. Whatchamacallit? Yeah, no. Hopefully, I won't have to cut any of that out.
And yeah, and as far as the side cast goes, I liked the scientist's motivation. His
Yeah,
character never stuck with me. Yanagaki, I liked. A-Class Boy, I didn't. Gas Mask Boy, I didn't. Maida, I didn't.
I like Mida. I like Gas Mask Boys. Like he's barely a character. I just like his, aesthetic.
I mean, I would disagree with you on that. Gas Mask Boy, we haven't seen a lot of his character where we watched, but from what we've seen and what was hinted to him, he is fucking ancient. And he's coming to deal with that. Probably
If you
everyone
believe
he
him.
knew. It's not even him, it's people figuring out and him being cagey about it, which is quite a hard yes for me. And just his general attitude and feeling and drawn backness. I mean, of course you'd be like that if everyone you ever grew up with while you were still human is fucking dead by age or otherwise.
Mm. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah, I just,
I did
I
like
just, I guess I just,
I did like the scientist boy because like the whole like I was a pharmaceutical I was a cosmetic I was into cosmetics and pharmaceutics and like I realized this is a great way for me to even further my experiments and understanding of how things work in the world. And I'm like, yeah, all right, cool, right on.
I can finally sell Viagra that works for vampires.
Ah, yeah.
See, the
No,
difficulty is we don't have blood flow.
I was gonna say it's difficult to get it up when you're dead.
We're gonna use this metal rod and a lever.
Ah! Ah!
Regardless, I did enjoy the A-class boy. I don't remember his name because it's been a while and my memory is garbage. But I did enjoy him and his general struggle of not being comfortable with his own power, being his own how soft he is, not being really able to fight properly, even though he has all this strength, and trying to bridge that.
Isn't he
And
a
Maida
hemophobe?
was, I think it was also hemophobia. And Maida was always interesting as well because he's dealing with a lot in these situations, having to clearly cared for his fiance that I don't think he'd either never met her or had met her a long time ago. And then when they reunite, having to see her die really fucking affected him by the looks of it, and his general goals of what he's in the military to do as well is interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's really up in the air with the whole deal with the fiance is, and I just it I don't know. I come out the show wanting more and not in the good way.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, ultimately, the show also left me wanting. And like I enjoy the cast. Like I said, the show has a lot of good things, in it. Like character concepts, motivations, even its lore setup was like interesting. But it just really doesn't feel like it knew what it was like what to do with everything that it had. And ultimately, that's as much of the show as we watched. That's how I felt about it, and that's at least for me. That's pretty much everything I have to say about Mars Red.
Yeah, I think I've said my piece on it as well.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next show. The World Ends With You, the animation.
Speaking of a show that has like a lot in it and just does not land or execute it like effectively.
What can I even say about this that I haven't said before?
I did not go back. I did not end up going back and watching it.
Yeah, neither did I.
I it got pretty far because we kept wanting the payoff of the very cool 2000 Square Enix aesthetic, and it had so much being set up. And you know what? Thinking about it, the show was a little arrogant with its setups. It's like it especially with Joshua. It's just like, look how mysterious and interesting I am. Don't you want to know more? It's like, no, I ultimately don't, because you literally tell the main character, no, I'm not going to tell you something, while dangling it in front of them, effectively doing that to us. And I'm not a fan of that. I do not enjoy that. You're not clever. You're just saying no to us every episode.
If it's gonna do that, it has to have at least a good reason and a more interesting character to do it with. That's how I feel. Because I don't hate the concept of doing that, but the character has to have a set in stone, concrete, and a reason that makes sense and is either compelling or at the very least interesting. It has to be a more interesting character than what Josh was, because at the end of the day, Josh just felt like, I am the one here to be your second partner who you don't like for XYZ.
And I was the one that killed you, even though we foreshadowed it 3 episodes to the point where it's so obvious that I was the one who killed you. But ah,
I
Yeah,
1v1 quickscoped you in real life.
with this fucking weird water gun alien blaster.
yeah. And like,
If you want to do a character like Joshua, there needs to be more substance. And if there is no more, not a lot of substance, within like an episode or two, they need to get their teeth kicked in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
like
honestly my issue with the show. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Beep. I'll go after you.
I was just gonna say with a lot of with a lot of the side cast and like I think the only one this didn't happen for was Shiki and Rhyme, but when it came to Josh, B, like the Reapers, I was just like, can you guys just like die already so we can get interesting characters, please? I like every time they were on screen, I was just like, fuck. 20 minutes later, ah.
I mean, I liked Beat and uh Rhythm? No. Rhyme. I like Beat
Rhyme.
and Rhyme. They just didn't really get as much as I felt like. Okay, so we said this before, and I might as well say it now. Uh, it's really it plays its characters, its dialogue, and its interactions plays like a Nintendo DS RPG, right? Like I when they say things, I can almost feel or see the text box going, giving off the like the text. And like when you're playing the game, you have the combat and the grind and the RPG mechanics to both hook you and pass the time. Here, we just kind of go beat for beat, no pun intended, without really understanding or exploring anything. And there are people like, oh, well, you have a whole week in between episodes to try to figure it out. Sure. But there's a reason why video game narrative is executed and paced the way it is, especially in like a fucking Square RPG. And anime and mystery and narrative are executed and delivered in a different way. It's because when you're watching a show, you interact and infer media and information differently. And it just does not work.
Yeah, and benefit that a video game has to get you attached to get you attached to characters. When you're leveling up and grinding with a character and they die, you're sad because that character's dead, but you're also sad because no, my time.
Yeah, it's true.
I gave you all my best equipment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that response when that happens in the few JRPGs I've played, because the few JRPGs I've played where that happens, I just sit there and go, well, that was a bad fucking game.
No, I mean,
If the character has been around for a long time and then just all of a sudden dies, I'm just like, okay, well, now what?
it needs to be like anything, it needs to be done right. I don't have that problem because I just give my character all the best equipment. But
Like, final,
Same,
I think
kind of.
something
mhm.
like. Oh, I was just gonna say something like Final Fantasy VII does it right because you constantly have people coming in and out of the party, different people.
Yeah.
So
And
you sh-
having a character death is a powerful motif, like especially when you hope that your players are in not entitled enamored and attached to them and emotionally invested, and taking that away is powerful. However, it needs to be balanced where if you lose all your fucking gear because you gave it to them, it's tricky, right? It's hard to do right, because like what do you do? Like, oh, we brought you your dead friend's stuff, here you go.
I mean, honestly, it makes sense because usually you wouldn't leave. If someone dies, you wouldn't just leave their stuff there.
It depends how they die, right? If they were like sucked into a black hole or the demon lord like
Ah,
took them to hell. uh
fair enough.
that being said, that technique is easier to do in games where you have character specific equipment.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
like
like in Final Fantasy VII, Cloud has his big swords, Aerith has her staffs, Tifa's has her fists, and Garrett has his guns. So if any of those characters die, you don't lose the best weapon in the game. You just lose that character's best weapon in the game.
yeah, and Red 13 has his teeth.
But yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what Yuffie uses though.
Yuffie?
Those are
Yuffie uses like a shuriken, like a giant giga shuriken.
okay.
Um, that or Tonfa, but I'm pretty sure she uses the big shuriken because that's what all her art is of. But yeah, back to World Ends with You, the animation. I'm seeing in chat that someone said who played the games, like compared to the game, this misses a lot of the plot, I think. Because the way it's shown is not how the story actually works. There we go,
That makes
guys.
a lot of sense.
Confirmation. Yeah.
Done fucked up, I guess.
The worst thing is like if you watch like it sucks feeling like we've seen anime adaptations of video games and other things before. And when it goes with the whole thing, when you have a project like this and it's like, oh, it's for the fans, cool. But even if the fans like it, you still alienate people from being able to enjoy and enter your fandom when you assume that people watching your adaptation have played the source, the original source. Yeah, see, I have people in chat right now being like, people have played the DS version, like, and it was super fun. This game has a massive following, and from what I heard, it's not just the aesthetic and vibe. I heard the gameplay is really fun, and back when it was one of the earlier DS titles, and people were like, Jesus, it's like one of the best RPGs on the DS. It's just a shame that we couldn't be able to follow that excitement and get involved with that same, hype because we don't know what the fuck is going on in this show.
Making an adaptation like this, I don't see why you should make it so that it'll only be digestible for the people who play the game. Because if you made a honest adaptation that did well for a new perspective that hasn't played or experienced it before, especially with the remake and like remasters existing on the Switch and I think the PS4, then at the same time, if you make a new one and new people see it, new people will be buying the game, and that's more income for the company. So it's kind of in their disinterest to just make one that's, fan service for the players of the game.
I mean, and
What
at
do
the
you
same
mean?
time, if it's just gonna be fan service, don't be surprised when people are like, "Man, this sucks. I don't get what the fuck's going on." And like the worst thing is about this show is that it's not even the fact that we didn't get what's going on. So many times we already knew what was gonna happen, but the show is just like, "Oh, you don't know," and we're like, "Yeah, we do know." And at the end, it's just like, "Okay, you were right," and we're like, "What the fuck?" Why
What do
do
you
you
mean?
really think your viewer is so unintelligent? Like in the game, there's cryptics. Like I can see the cryptics of this fucking narrative working, right? Because you're like, oh man, like you're mashing A to get to the story point. Like you're like, come on, Kingdom Hearts style. But like here, it's just like, why the fuck you think we're not gonna get it? Just give it to us and build on your world instead of staying in your very limiting original structure.
What do you mean fan service? They killed Shiki off so early they didn't have a chance to give fan service.
Oh, that's right. Let's talk about the good things about the show. I liked Shiki. Shiki is cute. She was more of a protagonist than fucking Neku, and Nyantan is best mascot for this
Wait,
season.
I thought his name was Nemo.
Nyantan, no,
Yeah.
no, was it a Neku? Pretty sure it's Neku.
Finding Nemo was 7 nights.
Oh, right. The two characters are so interchangeable. I just confused them, I guess.
Shit, I forgot about
That
Seven
they,
Nights.
that they are not me. Don't you fucking lie to yourself and me.
Listen, both protagonists are really boring.
One's leaps and mounds better than the other one, motherfucker.
Being better than someone on the ground, broken and battered, isn't a large leap.
Yeah, but you shouldn't fucking discredit the guy who's fucking crawling up the stairs with his broken legs just because he's also in that state.
Okay, which one are we saying is better or worse? Because I can't tell.
Fucking Deku, of course. Nemo's nothing.
Neku's
I
fucking.
mean,
I don't know. They both
you're
kind
not
of.
wrong.
They're both lame
Nemo's
brains.
Nemo's climbing up the stairs only to get kicked down again by fuck. What's his name from King's Raid? Not the main character. Fuck. Gilly told us
Oh,
about him.
yes, the best character from King's Raider number 4.
Yeah, the one character Gilly told us about, that one.
Beat?
Anyway,
I'm not sure. Whoever the demon is.
Demon. I don't know. Regardless, Shiki's good girl.
correct. I mean, yeah, she
Yeah.
was great fun and everything, and sure, she might have died off earlier, which means that it's we don't have her there, but the fucking motivation of trying to get her back is there because of how well instilled she was as a character the short time we knew her.
Yeah, but like it's
Yeah.
still the I don't remember. I don't even remember how I felt during the twist where Shiki's just like, "I don't feel so good, Neku," and just disappears, and Neku's like, "I'm gonna save you, Shiki!" Ah! And then also like this game definitely had the same like JRPG vibes of like Neku tried to kill Shiki, and then like an episode later, it's like, "Alright, we cool."
I remember. I think the way me and you felt on that is that it didn't do the scene justice, or I can't remember our exact feelings, but I remember when we were talking about it, me and you were a bit upset with the way they handled it. If I'm
Hmm.
correct.
I mean, I just talking about it now, I'm just reminded of my upset feelings, which sucks because, again, like, yes, for the show, we gotta have bad shows that we're gonna rage on or hate against and just, like, be upset about and condemn. But, like, ultimately, I don't like not liking things, let alone hating things. Like, I'm not happy about these lingering negative associations, but unfortunately, as much as I don't want to say it, it is what it is.
Oh, there. That is so different from me because there are some shows that I love to hate and just dunk on. I'm coughing at King's Game right now.
I mean, in a perfect world, you'd love to love every show that is doing everything perfectly, but unfortunately, most shows are quite garbage, and you need to find whatever you enjoy in the show. And if you can't find it, find a way to make fun of the show, either for yourself or by ridiculing it in other ways.
Yeah. I still remember at the start of the season when me and you would just constantly dunk on Seven Knights. Our camaraderie. It was palpable, Macan.
Ah, yes, it was. I mean, we had some shared hatred for sure this season, but I feel like we'll get into that when we hit those in the retrospective.
I feel so bad because I think there's like 3 or 4 shows that I think, or no, it was only the two. There was like 2 shows that Dal you liked, but me and Macan both hated.
Yeah, but like in hindsight, it actually look. I'm good. Like we ended up with some good shows. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we missed some gems because we just let it go. But fuck it. It's the nature of the show.
Yeah.
I'll be
Is that
perfectly
all?
honest, I don't think we missed any gems.
Maybe Dragon House
That,
hunting turns really good.
uh,
Yeah, and
all I said. Oh, sorry.
maybe a celestial event that gives Shimp superpowers is going to happen yesterday and tomorrow. Who knows?
All I listen. All I said when me and Lewis popped in episode 8 was that the animation was better. I never said anything about the story.
Shall we get down to business, boyos?
Yeah.
We're going to
Anyone
be
else
the
have
hogs.
anyone else have anything else to say about the about World Ends with You?
Nope.
God, I love your vibes, but fuck, is you a bad show.
Yeah, very aesthetically pleasing, just from the music to the combat to the character design. There's a reason why this show, like, I feel like this show contributed to modern pin culture, like just how much pin culture there is out there. There's so many pins out there.
If if we are ready, we can move on to Shadow's House, episode 13.
Yeah, let's talk about Shadow's House.
All right. Kate and Emiliko are captured. However, with the help of John and Rum's ribbon, they make it up to the roof. Using their soot powers to escape, they make it to the children's wing, where Edward is caught and reprimanded, but not expelled. The children are allowed to reside in the manor. This ending was good, but felt a little underwhelming.
It was good, but felt rushed.
It's okay, but in the end, it feels like they fucking reversed everything that happened in the last 2 episodes.
Which it felt like it was less progressing anything and just turning it back into the status quo, which I guess you have to if you want to leave it open-ended for a season 2, which
Yeah.
it felt like they did with
Yeah.
Rum's
I mean-
ribbon coming back.
If they wanted to leave it open-ended for season 2, why didn't they end it 2 episodes ago?
Because that's not how the anime season format works.
Yeah, it's as much as I hate to admit it, it's a rare case for a season or a show to only have 10 episodes.
Or 11.
Really? Because I've seen a show move between 10 and 24 for a season, so...
Well, that's the thing. Is Shadow House season 2 confirmed? Because they could have pulled a Moriarty and ended it on 11 episodes and then continue it on with 13 or 14 on the next season, but unfortunately, I don't think Shadow House has... I mean, I don't know. I genuinely don't know if it's been picked up.
I don't think it was big enough to get a season 2 confirmed right away. That's usually for shows that have over like 200,000 viewers or something. Let me check. As far as I'm seeing on Mal, there's no season 2 confirmed, but Shadow's House season 1 is apparently getting good enough reviews to where it's possible.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Apart from that, the entire episode was pretty alright. Some more interesting uses of soot powers and what they might be capable of.
Yeah, I like that everyone kind of got to shine a bit more.
Yeah, we still don't know Patrick's soot power.
We don't, but what we do know is that Patrick and Ricky are really just two soft twink boys, and I love them.
You're not wrong.
And let's see if we have any screenshots of the two boys. No, and that's fine. Yeah, no, fucking their little whole scene was just delightfully soft and gay, and I'm like, they really are just good. I mean, I called it like multiple seasons, right? That Patrick isn't actually going to be just an utter egotistical piece of shit, and that his insecurities are the reason why he puts on this like smug and aggressive face, and it kind of came full circle here, and it went even further beyond than I thought I would than I expected, with fucking Ricky being like, no, Master Patrick, your most remarkable trait is your soft and tender heart and your ability to feel and care for those around you. And he's like, of course, Ricky, and I wouldn't be this way without you always being there with your strong arms and heart supporting me. And I'm like, gay, cute.
And you bully me for Lou and Louise. How fucking dare you?
Because I don't know, Louise is doting, but I don't get like, and I mean, I don't get sexual vibes here either. In fact, I don't even think it's romantic. I just think they're, because I don't find that Shadow and Human to be I don't see the Shadow and the Face. I don't see them in like, I see them as family. I don't see them as as people that could potentially be in a relationship. Like,
I mean, one, they're different species. One is parasitic. Two, they're still children. Three, yeah, they're kind of offprints of the same person who makes a whole together.
also, yeah, the fact that, children.
Was it episode 11 or episode 12? Louis spit in Lou's mouth?
12.
12 ago.
God damn it, me. If you're really gonna pull that joke back.
I knew I'd get a reaction out of you.
Yes, because you got one the first time. I replayed that bit multiple times as I was watching the as I was editing the video.
Yeah, because that was where me and Makan double teamed you.
Squint.
You're like, I remember because you went, Makan, no,
Not you too. Yeah. Lahar,
My
not
fucking
you too. Yeah.
So on point with the fucking mood as well.
But as far as this episode is concerned, I honestly like I really enjoyed this finale. But boy, did it feel rushed. And I mean like god damn did it feel rushed. That is a misquote, chat. How dare you? Um like the malevolent kind of the menacing, what's the word I'm looking for? It starts with an O. Yeah, the ominous wow, my brain is just going into full static mode. Basically, the ominous malice and threat that fucking Edward posed kind of came and went way too quickly. Yes, he's still there being like, I'm still Edward. I'm going to keep doing what I'm going to be doing. I'm still going to be a thorn in Kate's side. But like he had those like what 4 or 5 episodes of the labyrinth to kind of build himself up, 6, 7 episodes of the debut to kind of build himself up and just to create this really well paced and he got to breathe as a character, and as such his motivations and the threat that he posed became very real. We got to see both his Machiavellian like tendencies of just like his like social manipulation and his ambitions, but we also got to see how unhinged and fixated and obsessive he can be. And here we just got this crazy dude who never really kind of lived up to the character's grandiosity that has been established all through the debut. At least it really didn't feel like that to me. Yes, I like the twist that Luis didn't actually ditch them and went to get all the other star bearers and members of the of the child's ward. Well, actually, no, it was just the star bearers. Sorry. And I like fucking John coming up and start decking motherfuckers and exploded so hard over Kate that it knocked himself and a few of the other people out. Take that as you will.
I came to help. I came to help you, Kate, but I might need some help.
Yeah.
I can't help you. Help me.
Also, the one thing that this show did do well and did do right by its finale was animation. That scene with Kate and Emilico on the tower before they jump and fly was with the sun rising was absolutely fucking gorgeous.
Mwah. Chef kiss.
And fucking Emilico fucking when Kate's soot ran out and she's no longer carrying Emilico flying, they drop on the roof and Emilico's fucking Sonic Adventure Battle 2 fucking follow me, set me free, like escaping the city along the roof was just fucking delightful. It looked so good.
Want to know what I heard during that scene?
From the city.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what I heard during that scene, Dale?
What?
Are you having fun, my son?
Yes, of course, Dad.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 2 different things I imagined. One is the fucking Sonic Adventure 2 music. The other one is just fucking Tony Hawk Pro Skater music.
Yeah. Emilico's a fucking badass. Like we really underestimate. Like I still underestimate her, and you asked me like why? Because after everything we saw during the debut, excuse me. The major traits of our characters are actually, at least for the faces, are actually their flaws. Sean's bullheadedness, Ricky's pretentiousness, Luis's kind of just whatever, like ambivalence, and Emilico's just fucking unflappable sheer like sunshine positivity, head emptiness. But the show succeeds in having a flaw be the predominant character trait of a character and still all of them be likable, competent, interesting, and just entertaining. Because at the end of the day, these are mediums for entertainment, and hell, Shadow House is entertaining. Really
Yeah.
interesting show.
Now, something I do want to mention about Shadow's House. Honestly, no, don't get me wrong. I like her, but as far as the main characters go, Abeliko might be one of the weaker main characters for me.
I can see that. I can't
I
bring
just,
myself to not like this little ball of sunshine.
I like her well enough. It's just I wouldn't say she's particularly the strongest main character, though. If I had to, of the four shows that lived,
3.
she's three.
No, the 3 shows that lived.
Or no, of the four shows we had at the end, she'd be number 3 in terms of main characters I enjoy.
Meep's gonna go into fucking law when he goes to university. Fucking lawyer.
Because Takamichi'd probably be 4.
Well, yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean,
yeah, Miliko would be 3.
Isn't this an award thing we talk about?
we'll get to awards when we
fuck.
get to awards, Meep. But
No.
like, yeah, I mean, if you want to tell us why you don't find Emiliko particularly affable or enjoyable,
It's what you mentioned. Their main character trait being their flaw, and don't get me wrong, I enjoy that. It's just it feels like Emiliko's positivity and her clumsiness. It's just I understand we haven't gone too in depth with her, probably for a reason, but it's just we haven't seen a whole lot of depth yet, or at least not to the extent that I would personally like to explore. Like, because with it, like Koguma or Vivi or even Ichika to an extent, we got levels of depth and explored those. And when it comes to main characters, I enjoy exploring depth, unless it's like something like a comedy or let's say a show where character depth doesn't exist.
I don't see what you mean that she does not have depth.
yeah. Well, I she's not. She has depth because she's not shallow, but I wouldn't call Miliko a deep character. At least, and this is sorry, I'll give it right back to you, Makan. But at least but I do want to make this one point before I forget it. At least not yet, because I do disagree with you, Meep. We do have character growth in Miliko and Kate, except the growth is parallel. It's mutual. Like we see how Kate and Emilika were at the very beginning, then we see them during the beginning of the debut, then they get separated, and then when they reunite, it's fantastic. You see a lot of very subtle but incredibly important growth in both Emilico and Kate towards each other as well as within themselves, and then we see that growth become actualized in this anime only finale for season 1 of Shadow House. I think if the show continues, we'll start seeing them develop as individual characters instead of a pair. Now, I'm also very curious to hear what Makan had to say.
I don't see how you could say that she is less deep than the other characters you mentioned. She begun off as someone who had one task put in her mind, which is clean and serve this one person, and quite soon developed to be an optimist, trying to look at the most brighter side of everything she's doing to try and do it as good as possible, which is a real life fucking thing. If you try your best and you are happily getting up again to try again, you're gonna do better. Um, Also, that's the show. No, if you are willing to keep your head up and try again, you will improve. It might take a while, but you will improve. Optimism helps in self improvement. Um, though that's not all of it as well, because she is, like you said, happy-go-lucky and all that, but she's also very concerned about others. And when anyone she sees feels down, she's trying to spread her optimism. And if she can't make them feel happy, she can make them rely on herself to try and shoulder their burden instead of having to let them deal with it on their own. She is very deep to me. She is selfless, loyal, and very self sacrificing, both emotionally and physically. In any situation she could put herself in danger before anyone else, she will. That's There is more character to her than a lot of the characters in this season, in my opinion.
I just
I
feel they don't explore that nearly enough to give the character the credit that you give her, and that's fair. It's just
well, that's the
Well,
thing. This show is. Mhm.
credit I'm giving her is what we've been shown from the show, and no speculation on my part.
Yeah, exactly. Like the show doesn't do a lot of internal monologuing except for Kate, right? Like Kate's the only. I mean, some characters got it, but it's important for every character to have some kind of like it's important for us to, as the viewers, be shown both the things that characters say and the way that they think, because that particularly shows, kind of who the characters really are versus how they present themselves. Think about it. If we got to hear Aizen's inner thoughts, the Aizen twist would never have happened, right? Um, and I think the show has successfully done that for every single character except maybe Louise, and that's because they probably wanted to subvert the expectations that she is an utterly selfish, self-centered bitch. The whole she kind of came through. I mean, she's very vain. She's ridiculously vain and extremely selfish, but like she at the very at the end she did come through for the crew, and like that I was like, yo, all right, cool. I didn't see that coming. I thought, all right, Luis is done with the show. See her in season 2 maybe if we get one. And then, the little twist of it is she was the one who gathered the Star Bearers and hatched this plot. Like, she's vain, she's selfish, and she's very self focused, but she's not stupid. And, like, I'm like, all right, cool, let's go. Um,
maybe that's the issue for me. Maybe the side characters just outshine Amaliko so much
I,
for me.
that I can see more than what you said earlier, which is fine. Like, your opinion's your opinion, you're allowed to have it. But, like, also really quick with what Makan said, I can't. I mean, I have to. I disagree with one thing you said. Emilico was always kind of abnormal in the sense that she wasn't very. She knew that she had to do her duty. She knew that like what she was supposed to do, but she didn't do it because she had to. She had to do it because she just wanted to like help and be nice. And like the whole trying to be better and trying to be as outwardly optimistic as possible kind of became vocalized when Kate explained to her that soot gets emitted by shadows when they are anxious or experiencing negative emotion. And Emilico's like, "Oh my god, well, she's my shadow master and I need to make sure that she's always great, so I'm just going to be the happiest I can be." And it's funny because and I'm almost certain this is by design, because the show constantly is telling us that like Emilico's a broken doll. Emilico is defective. She is a malcontent. Kate is a malcontent. They're no good. But in reality, Emilico really is the perfect. I hate saying doll, but she is the perfect face, for Kate, as it turns out. And I think that's really a nice fucking dual. I don't know if I can call it dual entendre, but like it's a nice multi-layer setup of character design and dynamic design, and I personally appreciate.
I can definitely see where you get that from, but I also want to respond to me because he said that maybe it's because everyone else outshines her, and that's because she is the kind of person that raises people up instead of standing out on her own. Everyone else shines so brilliantly because she helps them shine brilliantly.
I guess, but still, even thinking, it's just I do think it's the other characters outshining her, and not also combination of they never really explored her mindset, her feelings as much as I would have personally liked. Also, I'm just I'll cop to it. I'm not the biggest fan of the cheerful, always optimistic character.
Yes, Meep, we know you
I'm
hate Moe.
No, it's not even Moe. Like, I don't hate Emiliko for it. I think she's the best kind of that character. It's just I tend to lean more towards characters who are selfish in ways. Like your Subaru not skis, your main character from Shield Hero whose name I'm forgetting.
Not Natsumi. Naofumi, Naofumi, Naofumi.
No,
Naofumi. Naofumi. Master Naofumi. Yeah, right. Him. Like I tend to lean towards those characters more, the ones who are more obviously flawed but well-meaning, the ones who are start out a bit more selfish but work up to being more not self-sacrificing but selfless. I Those are usually the characters I tend to relate to and enjoy more.
I wouldn't say I don't either, because those are the kind of characters that I relate to more, because I'm kind of a dick. When it comes to Emilico, she's not really the kind of character that I relate to in any way, but when a character is what I see it is, and I can see their character growth and their motivations, I mean, saying that they aren't deep because you don't relate on a personal level is disingenuous.
Agreed.
Well, when when I say I don't think they're super deep, I guess I'm more meaning they don't explore her to the depth that I was wanting. Like I said, she's definitely deeper than I gave her credit for. I'll say that, but it's just I. I always I want to see it explored more, and I'm sure we'll get that. Like I want to see her mindset, why she is this way, like more
Emilico,
of
why are
her.
you like this?
Why can't you be normal? I just want to see more facets of her character explored. Because I feel like we've only seen this one side of her being optimistic and caring. I want to see more sides of her, or at least explore that side more in depth.
That's the thing.
But you mean the side of her that constantly worries about everyone else, the side of her that is loyal to a T towards her friends and allies, not willing to give up any information to whoever it might be. I mean, there is more than just "I'm happy."
Well, I said like the optimistic side, the caring side, like
Yeah, I honestly don't think you're gonna get that though, because like it's a situation where like this is the character and who she is, and like not everyone like depth is great, and but it's not always necessary. And this is coming from someone who like has incredibly intricate like character writing and design. Like I am when I I the most of my writing has turned towards Dungeons and Dragons, D&D, and other tabletop roleplay games. Um, but like it's a kind of situation where like I will almost always want to roleplay instead of do combat, because I just want to explore my character as well as my fellow players characters. uh but in this case, like Emilico is just Emilico, man. That's like this. It's kind of like another situation of just like, yeah, you know what? I think the simplicity of their character allows for like and like subtle, intricate like variations in their in their simple personality. Like Makan said, like she will worry when people are in danger, especially Kate. She will, be really happy when things work out and everyone's okay. She will smile in the face of danger because she has an incredibly secure relationship with her shadow. Um, so like as all in all, I don't think she's a bad character. I just don't think she's a character for you.
I never said I thought she was a bad character either.
Oh,
I
sorry,
said I
sorry.
like her. I said I like her. I just said that she's not as we don't explore her in the depth that I'm sort of looking for. But that's fine. We got to explore a lot of the other characters in depth. It's just I felt I had to bring that up as a main character. She's one of the weaker ones for me.
For you. As Makan, anything else you want to retort on this particular conversation?
I don't think I have anything more to say that we haven't said already. I mean, if I were to go into more of them, I mean, we're just talking to circles, say even
Fair
more. I
enough.
mean,
No,
I
you're
think
good.
we've stated enough characters.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Um, let's talk about the episode a little more. I am genuinely surprised Kate did. I mean, I'm not mad about it. I'm not like, what the show? Kate would totally. Kate Osama would absolutely notice this. But like, the fact that Kate didn't notice something was up when she heard Emilico calling her, but then opened the door and saw that her eyes and mouth were tied up, is just like, come on, Kate, you're smarter than this. But ultimately, I'm just chalking it up to her being so worried about Emilico that she wasn't thinking straight.
It's an easy thing to because I mean, considering the length she's gone to, of course she'd be fucking worried.
Yeah. And furthermore, I thought that whole scene was a little clunky, where it's just like Kate runs up to Emilico, unbinds her, ungags her, and she goes, Kato-sama, and I'm like, Emilico, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, I'm so glad, I was so worried. Oh, but Kato-sama, yes, Emilico, behind you, and I'm like, fucking open with that, Emilico.
Yeah, she went like Kate ripped off the mouth thing and went, "Are you okay?" She went, "No, behind you."
No, I remember feeling like the timing was a little bit weird in that scene, but yeah.
Sure, it was like a bit off, but it wasn't as much as you said. It was like Kate was confused about what Emilico was trying to say the first time, and then she fucking like behind you. It was Emilico was always trying to like from moment one that the thing was ripped off, trying to make her understand that wasn't me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She was like, be careful. And she's like, I'm fine. How are you? Look behind you. Right, right.
Also, I'm looking at chat. Don't worry, we'll get there. I promise, we will get there.
Hmm?
I'm responding to.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna get there.
The meanwhile, I was just thinking about that scene, and when they ripped the blindfold off, the look Emilico gave just reminded me of that one lizard that looks like it has only one brain cell floating around in its head, like the fucking start screen on a TV that has the logo just bouncing all over the place.
Then it smiles really big when the brain cell hits a corner.
Yep.
That's the dopamine button.
That's the dopamine corner. But yeah, no. Yeah, seeing
it's the G corner.
I remember not touching that one. I remember I said it already, but Sean fucking walking in and just like coming to save her despite everything. And fucking Sean coming out just wait no. Shit. Fuck. Which one's the shadow?
John.
John's the shadow.
Also, I was the one who mentioned that, you fuck.
No, I cheered. I said like I mentioned that like John like when you fucking showed up. And then Sean coming out is like, hey, Patrick, Ricky, have you seen John? And you're like, no, he's not in his room. He's like, fuck, I think you went to help him. And like Patrick and Ricky were just like, what? No. Oh no, this could be really dangerous. And Sean's just standing there like, you dumb fuck, why'd you do it? He didn't say anything. He's just like,
He just squints. I'm gonna beat him so bad when he comes home.
And then the fucking John, you dumbass, you absolute dumbass, fucking Lord Farquaad and Mista, but female. I don't know. I got nothing for her. Little Pink Riding Hood, fucking comes in. They're like, we gotta keep an eye out on the Shadow Doll, on the Veiled Dolls. There's two of them. There are two carts been laid around, and fucking John goes, yeah, I look for intruders, and everyone stops and looks at him, and fucking little baby Shirley's just like, you fucking moron. Just panicking on his shoulder, like, what are you doing?
I feel like now's a good time to touch on little baby Shirley.
I'm talking about John right now.
Okay, sorry. I thought
you fuck.
I will beat Grandpa's tea out of you.
And just fucking the two second floor like Edward's friends or teammates, Sakura and Sasuke, are just like fucking just turn around and go like, it just talked. And they just start fucking Scooby-Doo booking it down the hallway.
Yeah, was expecting the Scooby-Doo music, seeing them running out of doors. Emiliko is following them in front of the door. You see Lord Grandfather running in the background.
Fucking Lord Grandfather with his hands stretched out doing the fucking creeper run.
Okiasu comes out one of the doors. Wait a second, where am I?
Yeah, no, like that whole scene was funny, and like John being the fucking martyr, and he's okay. Like I was sus when John came back. I'm like, John, are you like indoctrinated now? And he's like, nope, I'm a-okay. They didn't explain what happened to him, which I thought was fucking stupid. Which is why again,
they did. He pushed onto the back of Edward's the fucking eagle Edward flew off with.
yeah, why didn't we see that?
Because anime.
Uh-huh. I remember being in that moment. I'd be like, okay, so the show just it told, not showed, and I thought that was kind of lame. But
I thought it would have been funny if we saw him just flying on the back of the crow. Ah!
yeah,
That'd be great.
yeah, it would have been great. Also, what the fuck was Lord Farquaad doing that let fucking John get away by holding onto the eagle, to the pigeon? Shadow pigeon, I think is what they called him.
I don't know.
It's a lot of things. Those things that weren't fucking explained.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, regardless, that whole like again, for those of you at home, just watch the scene with Kate and Emiliko on the tower as they jump off. That was delightful to view. That was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about little baby Shirley.
Yeah.
Totally.
We have Shirley's soot power question mark.
Soot power question mark, because in my notes I'm like, Rum, you clever girl.
Turns out Shirley's soot power was to imbue herself into an item or something of the sort.
So do you remember how she was holding, right? She was holding her hands and Shirley's body dissipated and disintegrated, leaving only the hand for last. And Shirley started gaining a personality. Does that mean Shirley was able to? That's why little baby Shirley's still around, because she's kind of retained a core part of herself. Because this little baby Shadow has more personality than Shirley fucking ever did. No offense, Shirley.
Little Babu Shadow has a lot of personality. It's sassy.
It's sassy, and it's also like she fucking jumped Edward. Like she fucking like. I don't know what to call the technique, but like she straight up put a hood over him and just dropped him him on the ground.
I was expecting her to do like what Riona did in Full Dive, just start punching him in the eye. That was another joke that worked in that game.
Oh yeah, thanks chat. She fucking curtsies like a little lady. With her little fucking
She is a very little lady.
She's a very little lady with her little ghost, like, fucking bedsheet little look.
Baby Shirley is my son. You can't take her away from me.
Also, how dare you, John? Creepy? Little Shirley is not creepy. She is cute and adorable.
No, Dal, what you don't understand is he thinks anyone who isn't Kate is creepy.
Roll me a persuasion check, because I was about to say John is disqualified from best side character.
Natural 20.
God damn it. Alright, we'll talk about it later on.
Anyways, you don't know he doesn't think everyone else except Kate is creepy, because he enjoyed fucking making a match between Sean and Ricky. You're just like, oh, that's 1 point for you. He's just generally, I don't know. He's quick firing with what he thinks and says, and
oh yeah, he is a stream of consciousness.
This is basically the parasitic kind of unshapen form of what he is. I think that's kind of a natural instinct to be like, oh, that shouldn't be here.
I have 3 side characters rattling around in my brain for who's my favorite, and I can't choose yet.
Yeah, that's interesting, Makan. I didn't think about that. Because we don't see the shadows react to any other baby shadows, because, well, actually we do. We see Kate, and Kate's also like really like educated and intelligent, like.
Yeah, but like essentially how I see it from his perspective is it's just like a fucking fetus running around acting like a person. It's like
Resident Evil Shadow House.
I was gonna make the joke.
Yeah, sorry, me, but I didn't mean to beat you to the punch. And like
By the way,
Rum is oh sorry, go ahead.
no, you continue.
And Rum is obviously like masterminding some shit because I said Emilico's I said Kate is intelligent, maybe, but she's certainly educated. However, Rum is intelligent. She has some
It's
hell of a
great.
cognitive fucking prowess to her.
Kate is more cunning, I think.
Yeah, I think Kate is wise. She kind of knows how to work with or like sense danger in people. She has a see, Kate has a high insight check skill, and Rum has that fucking investigation to the max.
Yeah,
Not only investigation, also history and fucking nature.
Intelligence
Yeah, intelligence in general.
makes sense with her big head.
yeah.
Got a lot of smarts behind that forehead.
God damn it.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's show Rum because she's a good girl and I miss her.
What I was gonna ask is is there anything else we want to talk about with this episode, or are we ready for cards?
Yeah, with this, is there anything else? Actually, yeah, because we're gonna hold up cards.
So we can always discuss the finale more when we talk about best finale, because well, there are only 4 shows that can be on that one.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be a. We'll cross that bridge. We'll cross that bridge. Meep, you keep talking about the awards. Save it for the awards.
Well, I keep mentioning aspects of it because the side characters are part of the show, main characters are part of the show, the ending is part of the show, and here I was just mentioning it like we can always talk about the best ending more there if we want.
Mm.
Or I mean the ending of the show more there.
I'm actually, yeah, actually, I think I covered all my notes. I've said what I needed to say, apart from like the last few things, but I can cover that with my card. How about you, Mackin?
Sure, I'll start.
Oh, okay, yeah, that works too.
Oh, I thought you were trying to point to me to start. But yeah, I mean, I've said my piece pretty much. I've covered most of everything I wanted to talk about. Um, the episode was fine in general. I enjoyed the exchange between Babu Shirley and John and Kate and Emilio. The escape scene was nice. I didn't like that they, showed the like them getting launched off the roof, and then they cut the commercial, and then they showed them getting launched off the roof again.
Yeah, that was
But
weird. I forgot about
yeah,
that. I remember seeing that too, and I was like, "Fuck that."
but in general, it was fine, and the little song number at the end was cute, and I don't know. I feel like that's the feeling of the show is the heartwarming and soft kindness and lightheartedness, which abruptly gets caught off in something more dark. Though I do give the general hint that all of this will basically be reset if there's a second season, so they can continue from the manga, where they left off on the manga, where Emilica goes, "Everything for the Shadows House," like your grandpa's coffee's coming back with a vengeance.
That's not what she said. That's
Uh,
that's the thing, right? Everyone else is Shadow House, Shadow House, Shadow House, and she's the one who deviated with Kate and broke the cup and said everything for the Shadow family because she's much more person oriented.
well, the Shadows House and the Shadow family is kind of, it's generally the same thing. A family can also be called a house when you're talking about nobility.
I don't know. That was like because I also felt weird about that, and then I rewatched it and I realized everyone's like like for the house, for the house, for the house, or for
Yeah, but
Grandpa, and she was the
that's
yeah.
that's also because that's the cleaning song, and I feel like they also said Shadow's family in the cleaning song. But the fact that they didn't show her eyes means they're probably back to their black voice, and that's we're going to continue from that. So I don't know. It's just the general feeling that this episode gives me
What
at the
did it
end
show her
that
eyes?
not one she said for the sake of the Shadows family.
I
They
think
showed her nose and down.
I think Makan is right because I don't think the way they cured the soot sickness is laid in the manga. Don't at me, I'm not sure, but considering this was an anime only ending, I do think Makan is correct that Grandpa's
Yeah,
coffee is back with a vengeance.
yeah.
But they
No,
broke the cup at before they cut to Emilico. That was the thing that jarringly
yeah.
cut the song.
Also
Yeah,
a metaphorical thing that might have been to show that this thing is still in effect or anything. We don't know. It's symbolic. Regardless, my general feeling on the anime only ending is that I could have done without it, and if it wasn't for these last two episodes, this show would have been what I married. And I don't know, it's a stain on what a show that otherwise did everything right for me, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna kill this episode.
Oh, like that. All right. Meep.
Yeah, as far as the finale goes, setting up for season two, didn't really do a lot of setup for a season two. It did a whole lot of bringing it back to the status quo, especially with, as McCon said, Grandpa's copy coming back for a vengeance. Because I do think that's what it was supposed to symbolize. Because I figured that I thought that was Kate dropping the coffee cup, going, "Oh no!" Like that. That's what I read into it with it. I'm gonna fuck this episode because I do think the journey to get here was worth it, and this at least gave us some, if not set up some illusions to what to expect with Rum, Baby Shirley, and the character interactions we got were still nice. John beating the soot out of Sean was great. Emily Coe getting forced to drink her body weight in water, and other choice interactions. I really I didn't I didn't love this ending. I enjoyed it, but I left feeling underwhelmed, and I do hope if a season two comes out, it rectifies that. So it's gonna be a fuck, but it's not a strong one.
There. Um, I'm also gonna fuck this episode, and I share my opinion with Meep. I found this ending to feel slightly rushed and unfortunate compared to just how quality the rest of the show has been with its pacing and character moments. Like the character moments were still there. It's just that narrative pace like gets, yeah, I mean, I hate to constantly sound like I'm repeating myself, but like honestly, like the pacing of the show is just incredible. It's always managed to just be exactly what it needed to be, and in this instance, for the first time, it really didn't feel that way. Um, it kind of felt like they were trying to make ends meet and have things just wrap up in a way that gave us some kind of ending note and resolution without, you know, making it so that there isn't a season two. That being said, there were definitely things that I enjoyed about this episode. We got to see Mary Rose once more before the show ended because they knew they had gold in there. So that was great. Like, oh, glorious and beautiful Kate and Louise Summer, and I'm just like, haha, fucking Prince. Yeah, what was it like okay, the most beautiful of flowers, and Louise, the most shining of daisies, or some shit like that, or like most beautiful of roses. Ah, god damn, fucking love Mary Rose. Um, we kind of start seeing that they're entering the, you know, social specter of the Shadows house. We see the show kind of start teasing for season two some new characters. Some more older Shadows are coming with like the tricorn hat. Who knows what they could be. And something I actually did not notice until I just went and looked back, which, by the way, for the record, all their eyes are clear while they're cleaning. They are singing the song. Like, it's weird because they don't. It is weird. It's uncanny because it's not showing Ricky's or John's eyes, but they show Louise's or Lou's, I guess. And she's fine. Then the cup breaks, and then it's Emilico and, you know, Kate standing side to side, how that opening slide was. And then Emilico's eyes are blue. She closes them, looks down, and then says, "For the sake of the Shadows family." Which, my takeaway for that, it was also weird. I watched it like 2-3 times. I'm like, this is weird. Uh, because, like, why, why, this is oddly in line with the propaganda of the Shadows House, but something about it is very different because it's always been for Lord Grandfather and for the Shadows house, and like I took the whole for the Shadows family as Emilico being like, no, for all of us, for all the Shadows, for the Shadows family together, and like that's the only takeaway I found, I could find to kind of make sense and keep it in her character. Also, we got introduced to the three kids, well, not reintroduced, but we're shown that the three kids drink the coffee and their eyes are now soulless and they're now going to serve everyone, you know, blah, 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 blah. So we might get introduced to three new kids with if we get a season 2. So overall, as an finale episode to set up an open ending with new context for the next season, I think it did a perfectly adequate and fine job. As a finale story, I think it jumped the gun with Edward and kind of resolved a conflict with him just too quickly with how clean and comfortable and well paced the show has been up until this point. I feel I don't know what to say because I enjoyed the pacing of the show so much. Like just like McCon, I was yesterday or last session, depending if you're watching the videos in the same day, when we were doing our marriages, I almost married Shadowhouse. I was really, really, really close to marrying Shadowhouse because overall, Shadowhouse has been more consistently a fantastic time each time I go to this show and I'm like, man, I love this show. Why do I like not look forward to this every week? And that's because I remembered the feeling I had from Super Cub in episode 1, and I'm like, ultimately I have to give it to Super Cub because I love Shadow's House, but like Super Cub is an experience beyond that for me. But unfortunately, also the ending, the finale of Shadow House, kind of kept me from from proposing and marrying this show. But still, I would gladly recommend the show to everyone.
Yeah. Horimiya, this is not, but it is a fine anime, I think. And with that, are we ready to move along?
We'll take. Yep.
So yeah.
All right, cool. Let us move on to the poor boy.
The first victim, Dragon's House hunting. Now, how much is there? How much can we even say about this? It was the first to die.
It's 2 episodes.
I. You know what?
We took a bat to the side of this child's head. And
You did. You two did. I enjoyed the show.
So fucking uncomfortable with the animation and the fucking how the dragon looks. It's so fucking inconsistent and strange.
Yeah, the fact that the dragon looks like I'm looking at like stills right now in our channel and I'm like, it is really inconsistent. Sometimes he's like bipedal and has like, you know, the more western dragon. Sometimes he's just all chest and neck and like it's strange. It's strange. And I think what the show did very well is like have fun with have fun with the fantasy motif and tropes, and also like with fantasy design. It's nothing revolutionary, but like the wraiths and zombies all look really fucking cool. I personally liked what they did with like the harpies, the goblins, and the dwarf. Well, the dwarves were kind of, excuse me, I have the hiccups. The dwarves were kind of design wise, but their attitude was funny. Ultimately, the show was like.
But at the same time, what other fucking anime has dwarves?
Slime.
Okay, so there's one more.
Fair enough. I mean, I know there's
King's
a few.
Raid.
There's been a few, yeah. I don't think King's Raid had dwarves.
Didn't it have dwarves?
No, they had elves.
Oh.
Anime always has elves, but then dwarves are nowhere to be fucking seen.
It's true. It's true. Personally, like I did want to go back and watch this show, but at first I was like, I want to go back and watch this show, but like when thinking about it, I guess because I didn't go back and watch the show at all, I guess I didn't really like it in the first place. Then I realized I had very little time this season. The only shows I really kept up with were when I had free time, it was Zombieland Saga and Spider. I didn't keep up with anything else this season except for like, Scarlet Witch, Winter Soldier, and Falcon, and I'm behind Loki by 2 episodes. Like, I'm starting to get a little overfull of anime. But honestly, like talking about this now, I still want to go back and watch it. I think I'll watch it with a friend or my partner, or a culmination, or do like a server party. I think this is a good server watch party show because I do want to see the different creatures and drawn and how they'll be animated, and I kind of want to see the different layers. And as a DM, I'm curious what kind of houses can I transplant from this show into my setting.
I'll be honest, the only design that really stuck out to me were the MILF harpies, and that was just because they had two big things I really liked.
You didn't like the
What?
wraiths?
I mean, the Wraith, apart from the Wraith King, are just a pair of cloaks with fire.
It's true. True. It's okay, never mind. The Wraith King was fucking fantastic. I loved him. He's such a good boy too. He's like not a dick. He's like, yeah, we scare people because it's funny, and then all the zombies go, yeah, and then
Also, I realized after watching, or not even after watching it, this just clicked for me now. The elf from this anime looks like they could be Amelia's father from ReZero.
it's
That's fucking true.
that's really true. Fucking Deidara, that was his name, right?
Tuesday that I
Yeah, something like
No,
that.
Deidara is fucking Naruto. He had a similar name.
Yeah.
Chat. What was the elf's name? Super pretty. Magic looked really good in this show too. When he casted. I am curious to know what the story is. Diria.
Daria.
Diria. Daria? Diria? Diria.
Dearia. So Daria, I think.
Diria.
Ah, right, the abusive stepfather.
Yeah, kinda.
He takes in this small boy and puts him through nothing but pain.
The small big boy.
Also, I heard from other people that the dragon does get better as the series goes on. As this, it takes a while, but I think around episode 8, Dragon kind of stops being so whiny and like adopts a creature himself and kind of becomes a parent.
If it takes 8 episodes to get to that, what the fuck?
Character development.
I mean, yeah, but then we have 4 episodes left of a show. That is,
Yeah, at least Tokyo Revengers can hide behind being a shonen. It doesn't work on me, but it can.
I mean, Tokyo Revengers can also hide behind actually being good, apart from some stuff bringing it down during the early to mid show.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
I forgot how much you hate this show, you two.
It did nothing. It didn't. It's a comedy. It didn't make me laugh. It just made me fucking annoyed and angry at just like, oh yeah, look at this bully, this fucking guy who's trying his best to just live his fucking life.
Yeah, but he's kind of a shit too.
He's a fucking child. He was never raised properly.
My biggest issue is another issue I took with episode 7 of Tokyo Revengers, seeing a character who's a good person, but the comedy of it is that watch this good person who's done nothing wrong just get shat on constantly. They keep breaking his bat. Oh no, that's the bat my dad bought me before he died. Crunch. That's not funny.
But also, like, he's kind of like a spineless shit, and I think the world like Theater even says like I want to see if he can become like can get over this. I don't agree with the methods. I'm just saying.
Maybe he's spineless because everyone treats him like this.
Maybe it's spineless because he's been abused his entire fucking life and he doesn't stop. It's a fucking schoolyard's bully's way of looking at it and justifying for themselves. Like, oh no, I'm beating this guy senseless on the daily because I wanted to get tougher. When in reality, it's just because I find it funny when he fucking cries.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else to even say about this? Because I've gotten all my thoughts off my chest on it.
Yeah, I do. Fuck this show.
Fair enough. Fuck this show. No, don't fuck it. Kill it.
there were some moments that did make me laugh. The environments were really pretty and gorgeous and well drawn and designed. The creatures in fantasy was fun to see. However, once again, Makan reminds me that ultimately this show was punishing someone just for being vulnerable and in need of help. And upon remembering that, yeah, I have no argument against it. I found the reference humor to be fucking hilarious. Because it was just so fucking apparent. Like, it wasn't even trying. It was like watching an abridged episode. They had a fucking Shining joke. They had a fucking Isekai joke. They had a fucking Luigi's Mansion joke. They had a Ring joke. I found it fucking hilarious in episode 2. But
None of the references made me laugh, but they usually made me
amused.
just yeah, they made me smile a bit when it's a reference to something that I personally enjoy, like the fucking just running away from the dwarves, running into the hunter and his cat just cooking a big piece of meat. I'm like, hello, Monster Hunter.
Yeah, Monster Hunter reference. Fucking episode 2 had so many references. The fucking Resident Evil Mansion camera angle while walking and then opening the door. I think the show is a good time, but I ultimately do have to agree that the show can feel and is mean spirited at times. And honestly, like, it's not the worst offender of that on this list, but unfortunately, I have to admit to it being it is guilty of that as well. So, Dragon House Hunting, I might go back to watching for your fantasy aspect, but ultimately, there should have been more characters willing to help the dragon without, also making fun of him and talking shit about him.
I mean, at least the MILF Harpies played that, but
But even then, they're just like they were very nice, right? I'm like, I was expecting them to be really fucking mean and mean spirited and to just be fucking tricking him and playing a prank on him. But like ultimately, they were like, "Oh, let's help." And then as he continued to be more and more pathetic, they're like, "Oh man, this guy fucking sucks." And I'm like,
well, they they just couldn't get him up to his house because he isn't able to
yeah.
fly. So.
And like that's the thing. He sucks so much that like a lot of people will have difficulty being like supportive and helpful of him, which is why we needed, I think, more parent character growth. I don't know. We only seen 2 episodes of it.
Good and good for that. But let's move on to Seven Knights the Revolution, the hero's successor. The show was fucking boring to the point where the only thing that got me invested was going, are these two girls lesbians? I can't tell. And even then, that was dashed.
Hey, I mean, me who personally has no fucking interest in lesbians, that was the most interesting plot point for me as well. Like, are these girls fucking?
Oh, they fucking.
They really made it look like they were fucking.
The show did tease fan service multiple times. The show did like angles every now and again. The show did, I liked Seven Nights. I kind of liked Seven Nights. I'm not going back to Seven Nights. I thought I would, but then I realized like no, there's better anime out there for me to watch and get my, high fantasy anime kicks off or rocks off, I guess if I'm gonna go that way. Um I like Main Girl, but I thought she was fully adequate waifu material. I liked their transformations. I did not mind Nemo, but there was like certain things in the show that just didn't really make sense, and I thought it was definitely like the best looking mobile game anime we've seen on this show. The best mobile game anime I've seen is still Grand Blue Fantasy. Fucking so good. But
That's the one I've seen is Monster Strikers, but alright.
I was gonna say, and I still think you're crazy because I think the King's Raid looked much better than this.
You're a madman. You're a mad lad. At least here people fucking looked on model. Not in combat. Combat looked shit. Well,
at least King's Raid gave me 2 giant things to stare at.
You had these here too with the librarian woman who had the fucking hentai ara ara lean in for both little boys, both Wolf Boy and Nemo.
At least King's Raid didn't delve into the. I don't want to get into that.
But yeah, no, unfortunately, I thought the show was rather interesting at the beginning. Uh, and then we got into the school, and every episode it became more and more tropey and cliche and generic, and I lost interest really fast. I thought the episode with, I think her name was also Shirley, the vampire girl, versus the so not obvious lieutenant girl who turned out to be the bad guy. Uh, that fight was pretty cool. I just uh I don't know. I really
I
don't
don't
know what
even
else to say about the show.
I don't even remember a lieutenant girl that ended up being a bad guy.
Yeah, the pink girl.
That was in the episode me and Dal watched after it ended.
I see. Okay.
Oh, was that after it died? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, I should have killed that week's full dive, and maybe we could have gotten to experience the. Maybe we could have gotten to experience that episode together. I don't know. I have regrets for this season.
Yeah, we'll get to those. We'll get to those on the week, but yeah, no, this seven. I don't. Yeah, I mean that's it. I've said what I had to say about Seven Nights. Its animation, its characters, and its plot all got worse as the show continued. I don't know what else to fucking say. It was great in
Half
episode 1 and 2. I thought it was like for a mobile game anime. I thought it was great overall. I thought like, yeah, no, this is pretty solid. Like this is interesting. And then it just kept getting worse. It's not even that it got worse. It's just the quality just kept getting lower in everything.
Yeah.
In
It's just fucking from the start. This is the first episode I watched for the FMK. I watched this show first because it was on Crunchyroll,
I think I did too.
and even like, all right, so I guess I'm gonna need to be a bit more critical, and I usually don't like think much about anime and watch them mindlessly before, and I was like, oh, this is just full of fucking plot holes.
my
And
first was Vivi.
it just kept fucking happening. It was a mess.
Half an episode was dedicated to them chasing a cat around the house while simultaneously wanting to fuck each other.
Yeah, that episode was just dedicated to absolutely fucking nothing.
Fuck all.
These two
So,
characters are fucking, but are these two characters also fucking? You don't know.
I mean, they aren't fucking. They're just floundering around like fucking idiots and being like, I want to fuck each other, but we're too shy.
Yeah, and then it even did the fucking thing where it's like, oh, I slipped and fell onto your boner in bed, and it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
well,
Like, how the fuck did she slip that way, though? She should have fallen backwards at that point.
no, she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, and she's like, I know where I want to land.
See,
Yuck.
I wish these anime that keep pulling this, like, oh, they obviously like each other. I wish they'd just bite the bullet. It'd be infinitely more interesting. They went bite the bullet and went, okay, we're young teenagers. Let's actually have sex and then deal with the consequences and deal with what comes after.
Oh, I mean, I agree with you. It's my least favorite thing about one of my least favorite thing in anime is that bullshit that you just said, but we know we're not gonna get that right.
Yeah, we're not. And I mean, it's kind of the deal for romance and general relationships in media in general. The thrill that people do like to portray in media is the chase of the relationship, and most of the things that deal with the relationship as their main focus end when the relationship starts. There is not a
Yeah.
lot of things that deal with the fact of being in a relationship.
I just because I've seen anime done it like that before, where they get the relationship actually happens, and you get to see
Yeah.
what it's like after. Like Horimiya did that, and Horimiya was fantastic.
Well, Horimiya is specifically a romance anime, right? Like that's the whole point.
Yes.
We can look onto like, I mean, I can't even call it Black Sheep because it's so fucking popular. But look at Sword Art Online, right? That is a very flawed show. That is far from a perfect, fantastic, stellar, example. But like, it had a couple of things that I always thought were just really fucking great about it. Like they did a really good job, doing the whole video game isekai thing, and It had moments of actual trauma, but also not only did the show fucking look gorgeous when, fights happened because they just threw all their money on the fight animation budget. We had like 2 episodes in the middle of the season just dedicated to the relationship happening, and then when things continued moving on, we had a point of reference of why these two people care about each other.
Yeah.
If Sword Art can
It's-
do it, so can you.
Yeah, no, I agree with the Sword Art. They actually cover the actions of being in a relationship instead of just cutting off and being like, and then they lived happily ever after. As soon as they will go, yes, I will be in a relationship with you, or I love you, or whatever the fuck. I feel like we've gotten a bit off topic, but yes, I'm quite annoyed at that fact being the thing. I wish the show would just start with the people in a relationship and just have them deal with being in a relationship and what that entails.
Yeah.
Regardless, Seven Nights is a very poorly made anime from a mobile game, so I'm gonna sit here for a bit and shill a anime that is made based off a mobile game for a little bit that I think is real good. I never actually finished it, but what I watched of it because I didn't have time. Yeah. Fucking shut up. I simply didn't have time to watch more of it. But it's a interesting little show of with 8 minutes a pop, as it is originally aired online. Show, and it was called Monster Strike, which is based off an app or you can play it on your phone or a 3DS. And the show is just real good. It has good comedy. The main character is kind of breaks the fourth wall with his comedy sometimes as well. It's fucking good, and they put effort into it apart from Seven Nights. Because Seven Nights is the most generic bullshit ever.
You should watch King's Raid.
Okay, well, just being generic and generic bullshit, I mean, they're equally so, but this show actually got laughs out of me. So if anyone wants to have my recommendation for a good fucking show that's made from a mobile anime, watch Monster Strike.
And since we're going to be shilling our favorite mobile game anime adaptations, Grand Blue Fantasy is really good. The anime is solid and a really fun time to watch. It made me actually want to play the game, as opposed to just... It made me want to play the game story as opposed to just playing the game for its art and just community. Because good lord, the fucking character art in that game is just incredible. Just the Grand Blue Fantasy is an aesthetical masterpiece. Check out the anime too. If you enjoy the plot there's so much more story to go through, and content is constantly being published all the time.
Shit about Grand Blue Fantasy sometimes, but I just looked up and down. The cover art is like really appealing. I might actually pick this up.
Yeah, let me know. I'll let you know when to start an account, and I'll help you get started so that you have optimal draw rates.
Oh, the game? Fuck no. I'm not playing another guy.
Never mind. Then just enjoy the anime. It's really nice.
Let me shill my mobile game anime of choice, Raid Shadow Legend.
And Meep gets disconnected from the call.
Rady Shady. Let's move on to the next.
Let's move on to the next show. Koikimo.
Oh no.
So let's get right into this. That's gonna solve all this real fast. Does anyone know how it ends? Does the fucking pedophile get arrested?
I know how it ends.
I mean, I don't think he's a pedophile, but
Get arrested.
I don't think he's a pedophile, but he's a sexual predator for sure.
She's underage. He's an adult. He's a pedophile.
So
oh, but yes.
I know how it ends. I know how it ends because when people, because what I usually do when I'm bored, I'll be on Mal and I'll look through some threads, and I saw a thread a while back. I think it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, a little bit after we killed it, and it was called "How does this show end?" ? And someone was asking, "How does this show end? I can't watch anymore, but I'm still grossly curious." And someone who read the manga said how it ends. It ends with Ichika talking to Ryo about her feelings and saying that she loves him too, but she wants him to wait for her to become an adult before she goes out with him. Ryo excitedly accepts. Grooming complete.
Gross.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
So at the end, yes, have people, fucking 10 years older than you constantly berate you with everything and using their powers to make you to want to be with them and everything. That's grooming is okay. Yeah, don't stop people grooming pedophiles. It's okay to do what you do.
Yeah, no, the dude's an absolute fucking sexual predator, and the show should no no. And like, I'm surprised I on Instagram I don't see the fucking community for this show popping off about how fucking amazing of a couple they are and how they wish they could have a relationship like that. Hashtag relationship goals, like they did with fucking Nagatoro. Like, just like it's the fucking thing with Zelda right now with Breath of the Wild 2, where it's just a bunch of people where it's like, oh, Zelda's such a waifu, she's so hot, I wanna fuck her, and she's like, yo, she's like 17, and then the fucking neckbeards come out and are just like, oh, well, actually, she's 117 because she was 100 years in cryostasis. Yeah. Fuck you.
Also, if she's 17, I thought from what I'm feeling, I guess she's like, early 20s.
No, she's 17. Nintendo has henceforth apparently aged her up. I don't know. I don't really look into that shit. Sometimes I see this kind of shit on Twitter. I look at it for like 10 minutes to kind of know what's happening, but not really because I don't want to invest personal time and too much personal time or emotions into the bullshit of people.
All I know is that I see her on Twitter, and whenever I see her, she's always drawn either as an adult or at the very least a young adult. So,
yeah, but we're not talking about fan art. We're talking about how people treat an adolescent child, an adolescent character, not child. Teenagers are not children. We need to give our teenagers the credit they're due, but also understand that people can still, they're vulnerable, influenceable, and this motherfucker on the screen is a fucking predator.
What do you mean? You can't influence me. I'm 19.
I'll influence you all I want.
Oh shit! I think I was holding. Damn it, chat. Please let me know if. Close to my mic. I'm gonna be stepping away for 2 minutes, but chat, let me know if you guys heard me talking this moment because I might have just been holding out my push to talk out of habit, and now that is pushed to mute. So I'll appreciate if you guys heard me talking about the whole Zelda thing, and you guys can hear me on Discord. They're listening to me on Twitch. So through OBS. So just let me know if the whole Zelda thing came up, and me calling this blonde motherfucker a sexual predator came up on stream.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
I'm going to I'll let you respond when you come back, Dal, but I think you can still hear me. So you also mentioned the entire thing with Beth and Vivi. Beth and Vivi was kind of how she was brainwashed, which you equated to rape, which is, it's different things. Though this is an adult male going after an underage female, which is, textbook definition pedophilia.
Yeah.
This is a show about grooming and pedophilia, and it's fucking disgusting that it's shown in a good light.
I really don't understand how people can enjoy the show and think it's a good relationship, because it's not. I don't know. Because I haven't checked it out yet, but the other show that came out this season about a 17-year-old who moves in with an adult, that gets treated, well, she is romantically, or not romantically, sexually interested. He treats her more like a daughter, and while he originally takes her in because he wants someone to do the housework, he eventually starts acting as a father figure for her, and that sounds like a much better way to handle something like this. Because it's not romance.
Not even a much better way. It's just fucking fine. Because, fucking young, like, mid-teenage kids, they don't have any sexual feelings at all. Are you fucking kidding me? That's the most sexual age of anyone ever. So of course they're gonna feel something. This guy, this is a fucking child coming onto you. You gotta let him off.
Yeah, like, the worst part is that the sister feeds into it, well knowing her friend hates it. Like, what kind of fucking terrible friend do you gotta be to do that?
It's not even just a terrible friend. It's just a fucking horrible human being. I mean, I know she's fucking. She was like traumatized and like because of her family situation and everything, and how her brother moved away and how she felt all alone. And this is her idea of bringing her family back together. But that doesn't excuse anything. It just makes it fucking worse. It's it's a crime for her as well. She's enabling a fucking pedophile.
Yeah. I just. It upsets me that this show does do some things right. That makes it so much more infuriating. It does certain aspects of its comedy right. It actually had a genuine and good moment between who I've been calling Hentai Boy and Ichika. Ichika is a good main character. Like, if this show was treated with actual respect and as a bad thing, with Rio being an antagonist, this could have been good. Like, if Rio was an antagonist and everyone was trying to get Ichika away from him, this show could have been good.
Oh, good. Are we flaming Meep for his decision to fuck this show and keep it alive for longer?
No, we're not. We're talking about how everything about it is morally fucking disgusting.
Yeah, the show is funny because for some, I think this is what Meep was just saying, but just to echo off of it, maybe echo off of it. The show unfortunately has good comedic timing. Like it does. Like it gets comedy kind of well. It's just so unfortunate that the jokes only strive to further the goals and ambitions of this predator and sexual harasser. I'm not I'm not trying to fucking white knight here or like a virtue signal. Like there isn't a conversation here. This behavior is not okay. This is not chivalrous. This is not romantic. This isn't like old school or traditional. This is harassment. This is harassment. Someone is explicitly telling you they're not interested and leave them alone, and you're not even like going like he's not even trying to help her. He's not even like going against her wishes to make things better for her. He's going against her wishes to make her mad on her because he has like a fucking kink that when she talks back to him or like puts him down, he has a degradation kink. But also he's a sadist. He's a sadist because he's a sadist and a masochist because he likes seeing her squirm and put her in uncomfortable situations. There's no consent. There's only Stockholm syndrome and the romanticization of the phenomena of women caving to that women will cave to the insistent and aggressive pursuits of a richer, potentially attractive man.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's about all the time I'm willing to give this show. How about you two?
I was just scrolling through the
Recaps?
reviews of this show on Mal just to get the general feel for it, and one of them said something that I think is so perfectly well put for this show. Core Chemo is dangerous because it is cutesy art rom-com cliches that hide what it's really about.
Yep.
A creepy adult man harassing and grooming a high school girl.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly
it. It is glorifying pedophilia. It's fucked.
Not pedophilia, but yes.
How is it not pedophilia?
Because there's a term used, pedophilia is of children. There's a term used for underage teenage adolescents. I just don't have it on the top of my head.
Okay. Last time I checked, you're an adult when you will reach 18. Anything underneath that is a child.
This is a teenagers need to be treated with a certain level of respect and autonomy in their own way, but also to be made to understand that they're not adults. But this is entering, a whole different conversation. So I say, fuck Koi Kimo with fuck with an X, not a C. This show is gross. It is disgusting. And whatever review you read it, put it into a single sentence what we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes.
To quote a famous Vine, what Time for your next question. What's worse than a rapist? A child.
Yeah, exactly. Except this child did nothing wrong except trust herself to this fucking. Yeah, his sister's also a fucking creep.
Yeah. Man, we don't have a lot of things to say about these last 4 shows, do we?
Yeah, we basically had like a summer season and spring with some very, very strong shows.
Well, two of them, one of them is outright fucking mean for no reason. One of them is absolutely boring. One is criminal, and the last one
Is mean for
Is
no
Full
fucking
Dive.
reason.
no. That's your cue to read in the fucking title, and let's go.
Full Dive, the next gen RPG, is even shittier than real life.
It really fucking is, isn't it?
And this one is just appallingly disgusting.
Why does this show why did the show have to be so up and down and then just go down, 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 down? Because episode 1 and 2 had good jokes for me. I laughed when they were calling out people who buy Call of Duty year after year. I laughed at Riona punching the girl in the eye. Like, episode 3 and 4 weren't great. At least 4 gave me some allusions to it getting better. And hey, in 5, it did. The town guard captain, acquitted hero, realizing you wouldn't have killed your friend unless because you had a sword in your room. That was okay. Nice. Things are going his way. He's able to buy some armor and gear. He bought smoke bombs. There was a funny joke where he threw a smoke bomb at his childhood friend and it didn't go off. And he was like, wait, what? And then her face went not crazy. And she went, are you a fucking idiot? Before it went crazy again. That was funny. But the episode after that was just the red haired girl going on about how she wants to kill her little bedwetter and how that's her dream. And it's fucking. It just turns boring again. And for some reason, the childhood friend can beat the leader of the Inquisitors, and it's just fucking. This show is frustrating.
Just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I have the same thing to say, except to disillusion the fact that it was good at any point, because it face planned and rolled around and shit, going, I'm a little piss baby from the start.
Oh, I'm gonna freeze myself. I'm so scared. Yeah, no.
I liked some of the jokes it had.
Yeah.
It had some good jokes at times. It's just, it was surrounded in so much shit later on, and it.
The
I
name.
liked the one joke they had.
Which was?
Martin time, because that's fucking great.
Yeah, it's Martin time.
The other ones, I won't sully the fucking act of comedy by calling them jokes.
Yeah, this show is true to its name. I get it. This show is supposed to be just everything is shitty. The virtual game is shitty. The real life of the main character is shitty. Everything is shitty. This show.
The show is shitty.
That show is shitty. This show is from like I don't know. If you're into NTR, maybe you like this kind of shit. Just seeing someone suffer and be miserable and made a fool of constantly. What?
There's a different type of porn than NTR for that. There's fucking masochism or sadism porn.
This is different.
NTR is something.
This dude's not enjoying himself. This dude is constantly put in situations where he's exploited and his life gets worse while everyone else, except for her childhood friend, because, you know, her brother was killed in front of her eyes, is like benefiting off of it. It's miserable wank. This guy is just getting exploited constantly for no real good fucking reason. Like, he's got a shitty attitude because life isn't going his way, but that's how people fucking react. And just no one is on this dude's side. Big titty waifu Riona, yeah, she's hot, but she's an awful person. Fucking.
She's the fucking only reason he's in this bullshit.
Yeah, because she keeps rubbing her titties on his back and being like, "I'll fuck you if you play the game."
Yeah, I consider her the antagonist of the show.
she is the Flowey.
I'm not joking. I consider her the antagonist of this show.
And you said it was NTR? No. This is fucking scat and torture porn.
Oh yeah, well, well, the show's shitty, so it's scat, but it's also like, yeah, waterworks because of all the piss jokes. So many piss jokes. Why are there so many fucking piss jokes in this show? Is this show for
Yep.
14-year-olds? Like, what is happening?
It might be, honestly. I don't know.
What do you mean 14-year-olds? You mean like 12-year-olds? Maybe fucking 8-year-olds? Sounds about right.
You should not let 8-year-olds watch a show.
Yeah, no, of course you fucking should. But why are they doing comedy that would work on fucking 8 to 6-year-olds?
And what upset me is he started to get people on his side around episode 5, which took a little long, but okay, fine. I was willing to see it through to that point, but the red-haired girl is just so obnoxious with what she wants and her whole shtick, and I have no I have no reason to believe the guard captain is going to be sticking around as a character because he's not in the opening or anything, and he's really, other than Riona, the only, well, Riona in quotation marks, the only other person who's on his side at that point. And I'm just saying, they're going, no, I'm not doing this. He told his childhood best friend he loved her, and now she's probably going to be on his side for some reason, but I'm not willing to see that through. It's fucking stupid. It had some illusions of being decent. Like episode 4. Episode 4, it gave me hope with the whole thing with his sister. I liked the deal with his sister, but after seeing episode 6, I have no reason to believe they're going to treat it with any care, because they didn't treat anything else with any care
No, I
aside
mean,
from
Sword Art Online had a sister or stepsister that wanted to fuck the main character, so we will too.
Well, no, okay, and that's unfair. In this show, she was just proud of her older brother and was upset when he was starting to be uncool. Like, this isn't Sugua bursting at the ovaries for Kirito.
Oh yeah, but I mean, from what the show says, she also is very proud of her brother. But we all know she's fiending for that dick.
The show sucks. If you like it, I'm sorry. No. Most shows I'm like, hey, listen, if you're enjoying this, whatever, rock out, like enjoy whatever you're doing. Seven Nights, whatever. Koikimo, well, actually more special. Well, yeah, more so Koikimo than this. This is just miserable. They're both fucking toxic garbage, guys. Neither show does anything to contribute to the betterment of society.
Well, I mean, does anime contribute to the betterment of society?
Yes. Yes, it does.
I mean, yeah, good shows actually bring a message that makes you think and gives you a lot of things to philosophize about, which might make you a better fucking person having thought about it.
Fair. I'm just more speaking from some shows I like shonen trash. It's like, these are just meant to be anime junk food, but
sure. But if we're talking about general shonen anime as well, I mean, a lot of them teaches you the value of camaraderie and friendship, which I know it's a fucking meme, but it's an actual valuable skill to know.
I don't know, man. Koikimo just strikes to the entitled male power fantasy, and this show just fucking, I feel like it strikes to the whole, like, either you yourself are just like an asshole and just like seeing people be miserable because your life is miserable, or, well, actually no, either you're just like an asshole and just like seeing people be miserable, or you're miserable so you enjoy seeing other people be miserable because you yourself have given up on life having any other, meaning. Like, because you can't see yourself having a good life, you can't see other people having a good life, so now you just live in this world of misery where, like, things like this show are funny and normal and par of the course, and it's gross, and seek therapy.
In all these dark anime,
it's not
like, or not
dark.
dark, let me finish. These dark or mean-spirited anime, the ones that are successful usually have one thing: a ray of hope. In something like ReZero or Jujutsu Kaisen or Vivi, there's always a character that takes the ray of hope role. In Vivi, it's Vivi. In Jujutsu Kaisen, it's Itadori or Gojo. In ReZero, it's Subaru. Like, those anime are dark, but they have a ray of hope that gives you hope and makes you want to see everything succeed.
Yeah, but those
This
shows
show
have
doesn't.
characters that are struggling with situations for reasons.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying this show doesn't.
But what I want to say is you can't compare it to those other shows because those other shows have a reason for everything happening. This
Exactly.
is just, big titty lady, should she marry me?
I am agreeing with you. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
we're just disagreeing with your comparison.
Yeah, no, saying this show is a dark or fucking mean-spirited show is just
I mean, it is a
not
mean-spirited show.
correct.
It is a mean-spirited show. It's not dark.
Even mean-spirited. It's just fucking dumb. The entire premise for everything happening is stupid. The jokes are so fucking unfunny that it is annoying and painful. And just, you said it was like a power fantasy, Dal, and I couldn't agree less with that. Because if it was a power fantasy, I could see someone enjoying this and, like, imagining themselves in the main character's shoes. How the fuck would anyone have any enjoyment with this?
You misunderstood me. I said the power fantasy, the power male fantasy wasn't Koikimo. The toxic male power fantasy is Koikimo. And here it's just, I think it's either people relishing in misery or are so miserable themselves that they've just live in this shit now. Because it's shit. It's exactly what the show... Okay, yeah, I know. I've said it before in the sessions when we talked about the show, but this show is, fucking shame on me, I guess, right? For expecting a show that says the game is shittier than real life to be anything other than miserable shit. But, like, fuck, man. Why is this getting greenlit when other projects... Give us Overlord Season 4, you fucks!
Yeah, I mean,
they've confirmed it.
Also with that argument, I have another fucking thing. Like, I've been in a situation in my life where I was about to fucking give up on just caring about anything. I couldn't see myself enjoying this show even in that mindset.
No, because okay, this might be a little too personal, but I would like to propose that you didn't fully give up, that you kept the human kindness and that the pain didn't overtake you.
I got pulled out of that shit. When I watched this show, I saw so many of my fucking things in this little cretin of a person.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at your choice of words.
It was a disgusting, dirty mirror for me. And if anything, I would have had enjoyment to see it improve, but nah, he's just wallowing in the fucking misery the same way I did for about 2 years. Any person who is suffering from that, I don't see anyone who would be going through shit like this, enjoying just seeing someone else go through the same thing. You'd enjoy watching someone succeed getting out of it, so you'll have hope that you could do the same.
Yeah, and show's bad.
Yes, you fucked it, Meep.
It gave me things to enjoy in the first 2 episodes, and I was chasing a high that I was never gonna get back.
You fucked. Man. You are the one who fucked both Koikimo and Full Dive.
I'm allowed to make bad choices.
It's true. It's true.
I mean,
that's how we learn.
We're not gonna say you're not allowed to fuck the fucking toothless meth addict behind the gas station. We're gonna suggest you don't.
That person needs help and assistance and actual mental counseling.
Yeah, and the people who made these 2 shows need actual help, assistance, and mental counseling.
Listen, I've never said I did a good thing. I never claimed I did a good... Okay, no, I'll claim I did a good thing with Koikimo because Dragon died first.
No, I don't... like, jokes...
I'll be honest, I could stomach more of Koikimo because it was an actually good show, whatever, apart from the criminal bullshit.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
No, you were there as well. You enjoyed Ichikawa. Whenever the fuck this pedophile wasn't on screen, it was fine.
But we knew what the greater point of the show was gonna lead to. Every episode we saw her cave.
And we weren't gonna get there in episode 3. That is my defense. We weren't gonna get to that point in episode 3, so I was willing to give it one more.
I agree. I could enjoy watching the show that we had so far, enjoying her being disgusted by him, and then when it died, just ended off my headcanon of the guy getting fucking arrested.
But that's not what you got, and you know that's not what you would have gotten.
No, but if I gotten more of Dragon's house hunting, I would have been fucking. I would have had a fucking headache watching 20 minutes of this fucking child being abused.
A fantasy.
At least I can imagine.
Oh, great. Yeah, no, because fucking. Yeah, the scenery changes the fucking abuse, done it. Fuck, I lived in a good neighborhood. There's such a shame that my dad beat me on a fucking daily basis. That's fucking,
Oh, Makan, that's
good, nice toys.
Oh, Makan, that's gonna be too real for a lot for a good number of people.
Yeah, exactly. So don't fucking act like it makes things fine.
I'm kidding.
We got far off of Full Dive.
Fuck Full Dive with an X, not a C.
And I don't. I don't.
Makan, in your darkest hour that you mentioned earlier, would you have wanted to get the Pazuri or whatever the fuck the term for tit job is from Renoa or whatever?
I don't fucking know.
I mean, I'm gonna put her up on the wall because I'm gonna use her as a thumbnail, boys. Cheating the algorithm. Look at that.
I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. Just no, because that's about the time where I made up my mind about what I enjoy. Because if someone's a horrible person, no matter how hot you are, you go to a 0 out of 10.
We all agree that she got the nice titty, though.
She got the nice titty, though. They're disgusting, though, because they're connected to her.
Honestly, those ones might be a bit too big for my liking.
Oh shit, I didn't. Wait, fuck, I messed up. There we go. There you go. Here you go, chat. There you go. There you go. Here's the titty. I put it on the wrong window.
Honestly, as far as bust size goes, probably my favorite size would be around. I'd say Vivi. That's a good metric.
The thing is, though, maybe she's such a bitch because her back hurts so much.
There's probably a reason why she's a fucking monstrous human, but I don't want to fucking find out. I don't care.
Like we said in the show, she's a developer and she's probably salty no one liked her game.
Yeah, true. Shit,
yeah,
sorry,
how
you
did
guys
no
get
one
to see
like
my
this
top
garbage fucking game I made.
I never said the reason would be a good one.
I mean, I generally don't see what else we can say about this show.
Yeah, I just fucking forgot how violently angry these shows make me.
Honestly, this is a good time to wrap up too, because I do have to get going here in around 13 minutes.
Riona.
Alrighty. Thank you everyone for joining us for a retrospective. Makan, Dal, does Saturday work for you guys for the awards?
We should do scheduling off stream.
Yeah.
We've said this multiple times.
Just figured I'd ask because if it.
We got a Discord. We got a Twitch.
Yeah, we can close out the fucking stream and then we can talk about it before you leave.
I just want to give them an update for if we have a day or not.
Oh yeah, then you should fucking post that on the Discord after the fact.
Exactly, but enough reprimanding me. Meep, where can I find you?
Find me you can find me at your local brothel of choice, or on Twitter at soul_cake777. Do not follow me if you're a minor, or I will become your stepdad. Whether it's with your dad or mom, that's up to you.
And as always, actually, first, Makan, where can they find you?
You can't, but you can try at that_Viking. It's a good place to go. You won't find anything about me though, and you won't find me. But there might be some possums, maybe some alligators, maybe some funny jokes and memes.
Oh shit! Are you expanding from from trash animals to swamp animals?
I mean, I've been following this guy called Flatfuck Friday for a while now, and I mean, you know. I think that's his Twitter handle. He posts shits about gators. No, it's Gators Daily.
That's up Gators Daily, just like Possums Daily.
Yeah, I think so. No, possums. It's not Possums Daily. It's Possums Every Hour. They post a picture of a possum every single hour. It's the best account on Twitter. No, don't follow me. Go follow possums every hour to bring some joy into your life. That these last 4 shows we talked about never will.
Oh my god. Oh boy. Okay, and with that, I have been Dalaran Quest. You guys can catch me right here at Dalaran Quest, both on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Why do I keep fucking saying Facebook? Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. You guys can follow me there for live updates about the podcasts, about our FMK, as well as D&D and gaming streams. This has been fun.
Dal, what's your MySpace?
That is gonna go unsaid.
Alright, what's your tag on MSN Messenger?
I actually don't remember that one. That's a long time ago. Anyway,
Outdated shit.
thanks
Outdated shit aside.
Thanks everyone for coming through and hanging out with us. It's been fun going through all the anime. We'll keep you updated regarding when the excuse me, when the awards are coming up. But in the meantime, thanks for coming through and hanging out for the retrospective. It was a season of anime. The highs were pretty fucking high and the lows were really fucking low.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't even say the highs were super. Okay, a couple of the highs were super high, but at least for me, 2 of them weren't they were 7s. 2 of them were 7s for me, whereas 1 was a 10 and 1 was an 8.
There you go.
Tokyo Revengers dipped a bunch.
Yeah. Well, it be what it be. It was an interesting time though. I don't regret this season. We kind of cut the shit really fast, despite Meep's attempts for keeping it around.
Rude.
And ultimately, I really enjoyed the shows we got at the end. Despite my gripes with Vivi, I don't regret watching it. Super Cub and Shadow's House were both fantastic, despite kind of 2 or 3 issues here and there. And yeah, Tokyo Revengers just gave me a long running shonen that I can just hang out and watch and hopefully enjoy henceforth. We didn't really get into Tokyo Revengers because we talked about it so much on our sessions, but honestly, what we said was like, we got character development from Takamichi, and now hopefully it stays consistent, because if the show regresses, it's just going to be a huge slap in the face. Otherwise, I hope they kind of delve into the changes in each timeline a little bit more. And I'm personally looking forward to seeing them good delinquent boys hanging out and, building an empire of good delinquents and not, just evil bastards.
Yeah.
Cool. And with that, we'll catch you guys next time for the FMK Anime Spring 2021 Awards. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone. See you later.
See you later, Hogarth.